Pledge. Sharon?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Go Tigers.
Yeah, they're doing good. Yeah.
All right. Board, when speaking, move close to the mic to ensure you are heard clearly for the YouTube streaming. And I request that citizens who speak to adjust the height and stand close to their microphone. There will be 2 opportunities for citizen comments. I will be requesting individuals stay within the 4 minutes in both citizen comment sections. I would appreciate everyone keeping their points concise. I would request that comments are made respectfully to the board. We are here to discuss the township's business. Citizen comments should pertain to specific issues, concerns, or policies they would like to bring to the board's attention. Documents on the website are aligned to the items on the agenda. These are draft documents to provide background information only. To be clear, motions are drafted to help the board more quickly get to the final wording and vote on the respective motions. The final motion may look different to reflect the actual action taken by the board. Moving on, we have 2 sets of minutes to approve. Are there any changes to the minutes of the regular board meeting of August 20th, 2024? Sharon?
D1, second line, Schultz. I like that stricken. It shouldn't say clarification of about sections referring to lot size. And like, I had many different concerns and questions and talk. So I would rather it say Schultz had various.
I mean, Schultz needed clarification on
Various.
various points.
Yes.
Sharon, what section was that again?
D1,
B, okay. thank
D.
you. D,
D.
okay. thank
right
you.
after you.
Okay,
Yeah, take out about sections referring to lot size, lakefront restrictions, take that all out and replace it with on various points. Any other changes on that one? If not, then I will make the motion to approve the August 20th, 2024 regular board meeting minutes with changes. Is there a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. It is moved and seconded to approve the regular board meeting of August 20th, 2024. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Second meeting was a special board meeting held on September 5th, 2024 to approve the rewrite of our zoning ordinances. We had to do that due to an error in the publication on public notification of the August 20th board passage of those new zoning ordinances. Are there any changes to the minutes to the September 5th, 2024 special board meeting? I have one.
Yep, yours is the same as mine.
Yeah. Item number 3, third sentence. It shows a vote of 3-0, and that should be corrected to be 3-2.
2. Thank you.
Any other changes? Hearing none, I will make the motion to approve the September 5th, 2024 special board meeting minutes with changes. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Jason. It is moved and seconded to approve the September 5th, 2024 special board meeting minutes with changes. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Next item, correspondence and announcements. Kathy?
I have several things to share, so let me organize them in it here. All right, first of all, the township received 2 registered letters, one from Star Township and one from Chestonia Township, both about the ORV ordinance that they were going to be voting on. The one that confuses me is the Jordan Valley our ORV ordinance. Letter to the townships, et cetera, says that they were going to be holding a public hearing on Thursday, October 10th. And yet they passed the ordinance at their September meeting on September 9th, based on what I'm reading in the interim review. Star Township will be holding a meeting on October 7th. These are public hearings for input about the ordinance. So basically, it's about allowing ORVs to be driving around in the Jordan River Valley area. So if you are interested in making comments about that one, let's see. If you're interested, board, our Beckett and Rader Company has a planning report available. They put one out every month. Let's see. This I also found in the newspaper. Milton Township has changed their domain name from similar to ours, miltontownship.org, and they've changed it to miltontownshipmi.gov.
Same as the county.
Pardon?
Same as the county.
And they said they made it to improve online security. So my question is, I don't know how or why they looked into that, but is it something that we need to look into for?
It's not something Mike has brought up at all.
I brought it
Okay.
up in the past, but nobody seemed to want to act on it, so I didn't further pursue it, so.
Well, that was in the paper. That's all
Yeah.
I'm saying is Milton has done that. They now have changed their domain name to miltontownshipmi.gov. And also interested for the fire or EMS department, there's a drone system out there that's capable of flying a life vest to anyone in distress on the water. And I wondered if they'd heard of any of that. That was in the paper also. And then lastly, I've received a phone call from a citizen who would like to ask the owner on the opposite side of our cemetery fence to put bushes along the fence line to make it look more attractive, or perhaps the township would look into that. And that happens to be the portion of the fence that leads to Mr. Loy's property. This person has been concerned for a number of things about that property and what's being allowed to be done there. But now he would like us to look into putting some bushes or something to make it more attractive
On our side of the fence.
on either. Well, he wanted us to ask Mr. Loy to do it. And yeah,
Okay, anything else?
nope. Was that not enough?
I have one
Okay.
on email. Kathy, I didn't see it, it must be today.
No.
But it's from it's from Janet, from the county. I don't know if you were going to talk about it or not, but there's I'll just read it what it says. The Antrim County, on November 5th ballot includes a construction bond proposal for a public safety center. The Tuesday, October 1st meeting at 5:30 of the Antrim County Planning Commission will include a short informal presentation regarding the proposed public safety center. Please forward this information to anyone that might be interested.
And that meeting is October 1st?
October
at
4th at 5:30.
1st
October 1st
at 5:30. Thank
5:30
you. Where will that be held?
at the Antrim County Building.
Thank you.
All right.
Mhm.
Is that it then? All right, moving on, looking at the approval of the agenda. Does anyone have any changes to the agenda? If not, I will make the motion that the agenda be accepted as presented. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thanks, Jason. It is moved and seconded that the agenda is accepted as presented. Any further discussion regarding the motion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Agenda is accepted. And for the first time in about 4 months, we now move to citizen comments. Got it in the right order.
No idea which one this is.
This is fine.
All right.
Well, Mr. Rubings came in first, so we will see or hear Mr. Rubing.
Good evening, good evening, everyone. Couple things from the county. The Antrim County Airport is doing a new taxiway, and that will allow us to have some more hangars built at the Antrim County Airport. We've had some requests. That is primarily funded by the federal government. It's 90% funded with federal money, 5% from the state, 5% from the county. So probably be seeing some more hangars being built at the Antrim County Airport. The construction is supposed to begin either this week or next now. So they want to try to get it done before snow flies.
Are those rented?
The two that I've seen are either 20 or 25-year agreements, and they pay a yearly.
Okay.
So I guess you could say it's
Yes.
a legal agreement, but we do receive monthly revenue from them for a period of years, and then they have the option to renew it again.
Does the renter take care of the upkeep
Of the runway,
of the hangar?
I believe the county is responsible for the building and most of it's taxiway, but yeah, they're responsible for their plane.
Okay.
And then we are still looking into getting a sobriety court in Antrim County. Sobriety court that's available to people here, most of them have to go to Traverse City. And if you've had a second offense with operating while intoxicating, OWI, you no longer have a driver's license. And so how do you get to Traverse City for sobriety court? So we're looking at making it more user-friendly for Antrim County residents. And also, we would like to make it so that people can utilize sobriety court with a first offense before they lose their license, trying to help them so that they don't get further down the wrong way. I guess just briefly on the Public Safety Center, some people have asked me. So it's about a $32 or $33 million project. So you divide that by 20 years, you get somewhere in the vicinity of $1.6 million a year is the cost. And the increased revenue from our general fund for this year for Antrim County is $1.8 million more that we're looking to see than we received last year. So my personal opinion is, why do we need to ask the voters for more money when we have the money to do it? I think there's different parts of the safety center that could be improved, but if you just look at financials, with the rise in property values and the renewal of all our millages, we have the money to take care of it.
So it's the rise in assessment is what's bringing in that extra money?
Right, so the general revenue is from the general operating millage, it's 5.4 mils. And so we got a 5% increase in assessment across the county. And the last couple of years, the operating millage was subject to something called the Headley rollback. So the millage was lowered a little bit, and when it's renewed at the full amount. So between the two, we're going to see a significant increase in revenue this year.
Yes, you will. Okay.
That's all I got.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Wiggins? Mr. Wiggins?
This is the time to talk about the planning commission motion.
Sure.
My name is Casey Wiggins. I live at 131 Northwest Torch Lake Drive. I'm here to comment about something that I saw on the agenda that is a motion to reduce the number of commissioners on the Planning Commission from 7 to 5. First, I'd like to recognize the good work the Planning Commission has been doing, especially in the last year and a half when they redid the zoning ordinance. There was a lot of work. I attended some of those, not all of them, but they really, really went through tooth and nail and got that done. It's an important job. I respect it. I do try to come to those meetings because of that. The reason I'm here to talk with you tonight is because I have a concern about what I saw on the agenda today. A motion to reduce membership of the Planning Commission from 7 to 5. I didn't see any prior discussion, any prior information about that. I looked through past minutes, for the past couple, I didn't see anything in the paper. And so it was a bit of a surprise to me. It just popped up. No prior announcement, opportunity for public input, my comments, anybody else's comments, and no justification or reason given. And so I'm here to ask those questions. I think a reduction from 7 to 5 is a significant reduction. It's almost 30%. Almost 30%. It places the decisions in a very, very small number of people. And it offers the opportunity for individuals or a couple of individuals to have significant influence on those decisions. We could have a couple people that could have very loud voices and overwhelm the rest of the committee and have undue influence on decisions and have and that opportunity is increased significantly when you go from 7 to 5. So I'm here to encourage you to postpone the motion, postpone the vote, at least until we have suitable public information about this and an opportunity to give consideration. Thank you very much.
Just for the record, we did talk about it at the last board meeting in board discussion. I brought it up to the board and explained to them that with the difficulty of getting a quorum and the number of meetings that had to be canceled and trying to organize 7 people to meet on a specific night, it was our zoning administrator's recommendation that we go from 7 to 5 to minimize the number of meetings that get canceled.
Can I go back?
No? Go ahead.
So I looked at the meeting, at the minutes, and I didn't see anything there.
Well, I can't help
So,
that.
but after that, I do recognize that you had quite a few cancellations, and in fact, the next one is canceled. And it's been quorum issues. I think you opened up a position this last fall or over the winter to have an additional person on the commission. I sent you an email. I never heard anything back. I'd like to be considered as a commissioner if that's an opportunity.
I'll go back and look.
It doesn't matter if you go back and look. I'll register it now. We can start from today.
That's fine. Any others?
No.
All
The
right.
commissioners went from 9 to 5, didn't they? Antrim County Board of Commissioners went from 9 to 5. That's even bigger. That's right, isn't it?
All right. Let's move on to consent agenda. Anyone wish to pull any of the reports?
Aye.
Hearing none?
When do I talk about the cemetery? Not now? No?
Well, since it's not, we could do it in board discussion.
Perfect.
Since we don't have anything
Okay.
on the agenda.
Okay.
You can always send that to me ahead of a meeting. I can get it on.
For some reason, I thought like you could pull the report, but,
We don't have a report on the cemetery,
okay.
but we can have a board discussion when we get there. If no one has reports, then all the reports are accepted by consent. Next item on the agenda, special reports. Item number 1, Should have been deleted, my fault.
Oops.
Planning Commission, Jason?
Yeah, we had a very long meeting. It was in regards to the storage units that the gentleman wanted to put in. We really didn't get anywhere with it, and it went so long that we weren't able to look into the master plan. And since then, that gentleman has pulled his request, so that's no longer an issue.
All right, thank you. Kathy Boyer?
1 second, please. Yes, FOIA, no updates for you on FOIA.
Do we have any open?
We do not.
Okay. On the financial overview, as always, anyone have questions on the financials can direct them to myself or to the clerk. Under the general fire and ambulance funds, the general fund is favorable to budget. We've gotten a good increase in the interest earned versus the budget, as well as state revenue is positive 23. Lower boat launches so far this year. We were down about 4,000. Part of that is the fact that we didn't have kayaks. We have 19 cost centers. 12 of them are positive to budget, 54,000 favorable, and 7 cost centers are over their budget for roughly 13,000. The fire fund is favorable to their budget by 93,000, and we're still waiting the tanker to be delivered, hopefully in December. The ambulance is unfavorable by 50,000. Revenue, the run revenue is down 25. Wages are ahead slightly 25,000. The road fund is over budget, as I've spoken before, because we had a big down payment that we had to. I spoke to Bert by email, and we should be receiving the balance of due this month as an invoice. So that should be coming in. We're in a favorable cash position. We will have some challenges that the general fund will be able to take care of. One would be the delivery of the fire truck. If we get invoiced before we start collecting our December taxes, we would reach into the general fund to start that. And of course, the road work will come in. We'll use the general fund until we get our December taxes and pay for the work. Other than that, if you have any questions, you know, the critical thing is we always run a deficit from April through November because the taxes don't start coming in for us until December, and we get roughly our taxes between December and February. And that completes my report.
Can I, on the EMS, as you said, it was down $25,000?
The
The runs?
runs and the expenses were up 25. So that's a 50.
So it's up 25. But the number of runs, are they less than, say, last year?
Yes.
Okay, so there are fewer runs.
Are we going to get any increase in the timing for the summer? For the summer billing?
That won't probably show up until November.
All right.
Usually it's about 3 months behind.
Yes, so we may have a timing issue at this point.
Right. And we're not down that many runs. We're up 3 runs?
Well, we're flat year over year.
We're up now because of summer, but the revenue won't show up for 3 months.
Okay.
That's fine.
On that note there, they switched billing companies too. Are they behind on that?
No, they're actually not switching, they're actually merging.
Merging?
They're actually collecting more. They're doing a little better job.
Because I haven't seen any collections coming through much at all either. You know, non-payments for collections. So we'll see. We'll talk.
And we just got a report the other day. M&M.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Mike.
Bring it in, sir.
All right. Moving on, we have no old business. We've got 2 items on new business. The first one is the motion to reduce the number of members on the planning commission from 7 to 5. As I briefly explained at our last meeting and here a few minutes ago, this was brought to us by the zoning administrator for the size of our township. She felt, and in fact, the problems we have in getting the quorums, that reducing it to 5 makes a lot of sense. Having 7, we don't have a lot of business on the zoning, on PC work. And as I walked through it, 5 seems, we're really looking at dropping the quorum from 4 to 3. So hopefully that would eliminate some of the meetings that have been canceled in the past. So that's my feeling. Those are the reasons why the zoning administrator came to me and suggested we drop it. So I open it up for discussion, board.
I don't know quite where I'm at on this. I sort of agree with, is it Mr. Wiggins? In planning law, they mentioned casually a number of areas that the membership of the planning commission shall be representative of important segments of the community. And that's also paralleled in the Michigan Township Association Red Book. And I looked, and they mention in here those kinds of important areas. They mentioned agriculture, and I'm mentioning those that I believe we do have: agricultural, natural resources, recreation because of our day park and our nature preserve, government, and transportation because we are on a main corridor, federal corridor here, as well as part of the state, as well as our commerce. We don't have a lot of businesses here, but we do have some. In addition to that, we have Lake Michigan and we have Torch Lake. Are similar, but there's also some major kinds of differences that happen in both places. So to me, it dropping, I would put up a recruiting sign, because I think, again, to have one member and not have the representation, things have been very smooth, I think, so far in the planning commission, but we did have a sort of a controversy that ended that last time. We had over 200 signatures of concerned citizens. That's a lot of people that showed up on a zoning change or a zoning permit recently.
But those were not all residents.
Pardon me?
Those were not all residents. There were people from as far away as California.
Yeah, they had a lot of out of
Well, I
town.
mean, I'm sure there was a significant number, though, of people that, I'm just amazed that there was that much concern that showed up. And so I guess I'm reluctant, as opposed to trying to do some recruiting and letting people know what's going on. I do recognize the lack of quorums that we've had in recent years, and I don't know why that is, and why we've not had people that would stick with it. It is not an exciting job. I mean, it's not real exciting. It's kind of, but it is pretty technical in a lot of places. And especially since we will be working on a new master plan, and the master plan is a requirement every 5 years for zoning districts in Michigan, which will represent what we believe will happen actually over the next 20 years, but we put a 5-year plan together to represent how we want to see development happen. In my opinion, the master plan is the one part in which people's ideas of things like rural character can be put in. It's hard to put rural character in the law because the attorneys have trouble defining all that kind of stuff. But you can do it in a master plan. And the master plan is one of the first things the judge looks at if you have contention. What do the people think they ought to have in this township in the future? So it's not a small issue. And I agree that we need to have as much representation as we can from the different segments in here. The Michigan Township Association, I thought, stated this nicely. Did I misplace it? Maybe I did. Here it is. No, but they did say from the important segments of our community, and I think that that's critical. We're moving along, we're very smooth. I think we have a really good zoning ordinance to work with. But there will be issues that will come up, and there will be conflict, because I look at the property sales in this township, and there's a handful of properties for sale right now in this township and in other townships around us. So we have that kind of pressure on us as well. And we have the two villages which have business districts in them, which I think we should be carefully monitored so that we can make good decisions about them. So I'm not in favor of it, Bob. I would just like to do a recruiting thing, is what I would like to do. And we used to do that when we had the EMS, looking for we weren't at paramedic level at that time. We were at, what would it be, Sharon, the lower level?
EMT.
EMTs. And we would do recruiting for that. And once we put out something, we'd always get 2 or 3 people that fit and came in and worked for us for a long time. I think I don't know what would sell it, and surely the wages are not high. And what would sell it to have somebody show up to want to be in a planning commission and work it through. But I would like to see that tried first. I really would, in a very serious way. Something like that. Anyways, I don't think it's a good idea for us. We're not. The other part of that is we're extremely property value township, major. I mean, I don't know if we're number 1 or number 2 in the county right now.
I think we're number
We're
2.
3, okay.
3?
And that's, it's a significant amount of money. Much of your building will come from those expensive townships. So I think we have to make decisions very, very carefully with that in mind. And I'd like to see more representation. The other thing I think that I was not mentioned in here too is that we have a group of people that have been here, their families have been here prior to 1970. And they came here early and they expanded. The merchants are one of them. And they are part of this community and part of the history of this place. And they are a group of people. I've seen them at meetings together. And that's another group that I look at too that should have representation. And they were in this community when it was extremely rural and a good place to hunt also. And so that's my thinking on it. I think I'd like us to give some more time on this idea and to see if we could do a recruiting kind of program to see if anybody else shows up. Because in the next office, one of the planning commissions, Andy Graves is going to be a trustee. Jason's going to be a trustee. And so we will lose one of them from the planning commission right off the bat, which takes the planning commission down to, I think we have
5.
6 members now. It's going to take it down to
5.
5. And we only have 5 now? Oh, I don't know who resigned. Okay, so then we are going down. But again, part of my thinking is that I never had difficulty finding people for the planning commission. But that's me, and that was a different time. So that's my thoughts.
All right. Sure.
Well, I did a lot of analysis too. I don't have books like you, Alan, there, but I went through going from a 7, you're going to have 4 would be a quorum, like Bob said, and 5 member would be a 3 quorum. We had a lot of cancellation meetings, and that's very disturbing. You're not creating good work habits when you're not serving the people. That's not serving the people when you can't have a quorum. It's getting worse. I know the county went from 9 to 5 commissioners, and things have changed. You don't have the character of the people here that want to spend their time on here all the time. So right now we have, with 2 of them that is currently on there, 1 will come off right away. And so that leaves 5, that would leave 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's hard to get 7 members, and I think it's more detrimental not serving the people with cancellations. I mean, I feel that it was, every time I looked up and there was a cancellation. That's wrong. That's even worse than at least having 3 as a quorum, and you're probably not going to do have a meeting with 4 would be better, but still having 7 is, it's, to me, it's not good. I haw-hemed around on this for a long time too. And I looked at all their current names and their current classes they might have had or may not have. Some of them have planners, some of them don't. So I think Sarah can have a good feel on this, going from 5 to, 7 to 5. I just think it's not serving us any better by cancellations all the time. That's how I feel.
Okay, Kathy.
Yep. I was caught by 2 things that Casey said. And I think one of the biggest ones is that you now have fewer people making big decisions, which comes to representation. If you only have 5 people making the decisions for a township, when you could have 7, that maybe 7 would be better. On the other hand, we apparently have trouble getting a commission of 7. And because of that, we did have a lot of cancellations. But Alan's thought to probably, or to attempt to do some, the word recruiting, maybe before we make the decision, give it a chance to see if we can recruit. So right now, I'm not quite sure I know how I'm going to vote on this, just to tell you the truth. I see both sides.
Jason, you've experienced 4 years in the planning commission.
Yep. And it's frustrating when you got your day planned or your evening planned and you get the call at 4 o'clock that your meeting's canceled because all of a sudden you don't have a quorum. I know the last storage unit, rental unit thing, I know at least 2 of his meetings was canceled because we couldn't get a quorum. And which that guy was coming down to the deadline on our new ordinance changing. Well, that wouldn't even have been an issue if we could have had the meetings prior to that. So that is frustrating. I do agree, kind of agree with you as far as having more people on there might be a better idea. My question is, if you have 5 members, and I know we've done it as a board, only 3 show up. Is it going to be 2 versus 1?
Well, that would be the idea of an odd number, is that you don't have a tie. If you have a tie, if there's a decision having to be made,
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Odd number. I'm just saying, how will it go? Would it possibly go that low for the planning commission if there's only 3 members there?
Yeah, that would be the
2
vote.
versus, okay. So.
And that's where I came through and said I wouldn't assume that they would have 3. I mean, when you've got 5, I would think more would be there than 5, than at least.
And my other question is it against the law or whatever township to have 2 trustees on the planning commission?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it is.
So we will
Okay.
have to have Andy come on the board, and then either you or Andy make a decision as to who wants to go on the planning commission. The board.
It might be
I
me.
would appoint. We always need a little humor in the meeting.
Well,
Usually it's
well,
me.
I could bring up one time when I said I might need you, and you said, I don't want to go on the planning commission. So
unless I have to.
your arm bent behind your back, so,
I'm just-
okay.
So anyway, yeah, no, to be honest with you, I don't know how I'm going to vote either. I know, I bet it was very frustrating though to have a lot of the meetings canceled. I do agree with Sharon. It does look kind of bad.
So the history for 4 years, Casey, with the exception of your email, and I'll go back and find it. I apologize for missing it.
You don't need to.
I remember one meeting in which I had a person ready to come on because I had a vacancy, and they
Mhm.
called at 4 o'clock before the meeting and
Mhm.
withdrew.
Mhm.
And fortunately, I had a backup plan. But every time I've had an opening, I have posted in my monthly letter, and both for the ZBA and the Planning Commission. And I have gotten very few people through that. Normally it comes from somebody that talks to somebody and they think about it. But there is no line forming to join the planning commission. And I mean, I can survive with 7. The zoning administrator is the one that pays the price, but it's up to the board to decide if they want to make a change. I think, Casey, you have good points. But the reality is, if it was a really big issue going from 7 to 5, I would expect 15 or 20 people here. And, you know, I post the agenda on Thursday, so people have time to look at it. It's posted on the website. I do everything I can to keep things up in front of the people if they make the effort. And that's why I record the meetings. And we did have that discussion at the last meeting under board discussion. So, board, I'm in favor of it. I feel the pain for Sarah, and that's the reason I put it before you. Any other discussion?
Can I ask,
Can I ask Mr. Wiggins a question?
Sure.
Mr. Wiggins, you have any thoughts about why we have not had more participation or people lining up?
Let me gather my thoughts a little bit here. And I'm going to go back to some of the comments that I just heard. It's not like the planning commission is really exciting stuff. I think that's what you said, Bob. It's just people aren't lining up. It's not, hey, let's go to the planning commission. And I guess I agree. And I've been to quite a few of the meetings. Hopefully, Jason, you recognize my face. I haven't spent a lot of time making comments, but particularly the people that I know in my neighborhood, and the people that I see when they show up to decide that they don't like an airport or they don't like a storage building. I don't know that they're actively involved. I don't see those faces in these meetings. I don't see them in the planning commission or the ZBA. And frankly, I've been lined up to go. Planning commission meeting was on my agenda. It's on my calendar right now. So it's canceled. I won't be at that, and I won't be at the ZBA. It's not like Monday Night Football. People don't get all charged up to go do it. I'll submit that I've become more and more interested since I got drafted to be part of the election committee, and now Three Lakes Association.
Thanks to me, right?
Thanks to you. And so I've gotten more interested in being involved, and it probably took, I'll call it a mentor, a little kick in the pants, whatever, to go do that. And so to Alan's point, if there is some way that we can create a kick in the pants before we go make a decision tonight, that's kind of what I'm asking for. I'm not asking you to say no. I said, gee, this kind of popped up on me. Has it been given due consideration? Have we given it an opportunity? Because when you guys went through the new zoning rewrite, what was that, 18 months?
Pretty close.
4 years for me.
Well,
Yeah, because we started with a steering committee and.
yeah, there were bits and pieces. And
Several
then you step
members
back and
have
says,
come
wait a
around.
minute, we have to go do the whole thing, right?
Well, that was a meeting that took place in 21. We
Yeah.
had,
It's been.
yeah,
It's been-
that was Steve's first meeting. And we had the PC and the planning commission in a general meeting, and he went through, Steve Langworth, they went through our ordinances in a discussion. And he came to me after the meeting and he said, you got to rewrite these things.
Yeah.
So it started somewhere in July of 21.
Okay.
So it's been a long slug, and to your point, we had a significant number of meetings and nobody attended. So.
So you made comment at the last meeting with the storage places that you wish people in the audience had been part of the process before that event happen. So it requires an event to get people off their friggin' couches.
Well, we've had, if you think about it, we had the condominiums down at M88, the corner down here.
Yep.
And a lot of people on the M88 corridor came out. Nobody else in the township came out.
Nobody.
So if it's in your backyard, you get people coming out to the planning commission or the ZBA. If it's generally for the township, you don't get the participation. I mean, we don't get it at the board meetings.
So,
You know, it's tough, it's difficult. But I will say, we've had two difficult board meetings in the sense that we had a lot of people. One was the dangerous building ordinance, the other one was the septic tank. Other than that, you know, outside of what took place in the first year, there hasn't been a whole lot of activity from the public. So I'm assuming they think things are running along fine. It's the only thing I can think of, or they'd be here.
yeah, or until something comes up that they didn't agree with, and then they had the opportunity to vote 3 months ago and they missed it,
Well,
which was,
And then they go as far as to get a petition and get it
Yeah.
revoked and changed, and that was the
so,
building on 88.
so you asked me a question. I hope I answered it as best I could.
Thank you.
To Alan's point, I'll be the first one in line. I don't know if I'm qualified. I don't know if I'd be accepted, but at least you have one in line. So when Jason.
Well, I will tell you, based
We would need
on-
2, 3.
Kicked
I
at the
will tell you,
curb.
based on your participation that you and I both know of, and your interests, and how you came forward during the ZBA case on the helipad, I think you'd be an excellent candidate for the open slot on the planning commission. So I get to make the appointment, the board gets to vote on, and we'll take care of that.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you for
You
your
can-
endorsement.
you can
We'll
appoint
talk
him right
and then
now, right,
we'll
to
address
fill the
that later.
vacancy.
It's not on the
Thank you.
If you look at the audience and sitting in the seats, there's only one that's not an employee coming to the meetings.
Yeah.
I have one more question.
Yes, sir.
Has Sarah requested this?
Yes.
That's all I want.
Any other? I try not to do this,
I know you don't.
but since we only have one person for public,
So Sarah is a contractor, correct?
She's our zoning administrator.
and she has been here for 4 years.
I understand, but she's a contractor. She's not a resident of the township.
Correct.
Okay, that's all.
All right, board, no further discussion? Then I will make the motion to approve Torchlight Township Ordinance number 2 of 2024, changing the membership number of the Planning Commission from 7 to 5 members. Effective date is 63 days after being published in a newspaper of general circulation within the township. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. All right, board, there's a motion. Any discussion on the motion? The 63 days is a state statute, and Sarah did this. If there's no further discussion,
It's Thanksgiving Day.
so we'll pray. I'm not sure what.
I counted it 6, I have it, I already did my homework. It's Thanksgiving Day,
That's fine.
63 days is?
past the publication.
Will you do a roll call?
I
vote,
will.
please?
Your name is first on the list, so I will say Bob,
Yes.
Sharon,
Yes,
myself, I'm going to say no. Alan,
No.
Jason?
Yes.
That motion is approved, 3-2.
Thank you, board.
Now, what do we put in the paper?
I will take care of that
Thank
with
you.
you.
Perfect.
We'll get the official announcement from Sarah. She'll write what's
Okay.
required.
And do we want it in both papers? Probably.
We only need it in one. The state
Okay.
statute says the general distribution of the township.
some things are important to being too and some are not, so this one goes out.
All right, item number 2. We have a mutual aid agreement with TAA, and it's normally 5 years, and Mike brought it to my attention that we needed to renew that. So you have the revised document. I put it on your desk. You also had one in your package. It was the old one, but the verbiage is still the same except for the date. Any questions on that? Michael's here. He can handle that.
So seeing how we just got this tonight, I looked at the old, so the only changes was,
Where's the dates? Actually, because now we put this together, in the last paragraph of the agreement, it states it could be renewed annually if there's no disagreements. There is no end date, basically. The state is the one who brought it to our attention when we're getting ready for inspection and stated they like those to be looked at every 5 years. And that's why I passed it on to Bob, so that's why we changed it. So the language itself is very good. If we lapse, we don't do anything with it, they're okay, because of the last paragraph. However, because again, the state brought it to our attention, that's why we're asking for this date to be changed. So it's known in the first paragraph, the new date, and the signature page with a date. Now, if it's approved here tonight, then I'll take to the TA board next Tuesday, and we'll get that signature, and that'll be the date that it's approved, and I'll get it back to you. Thank
so
you.
you're saying number 12 at the last page? The agreement is 1 year, which,
If you look at the last paragraph, it states 1 year and can be renewed annually, and there's no, unless a party brings it up and says no.
so where's that 5 years that the state's recommending? Is that in here?
The state is recommending the 5 years, but that has nothing to do with the agreement. They just like to look
Okay.
at them in 5 years.
Okay, the old and the new needs to update it every 5 years.
Yes.
So does
What we used to do in the hospitals is we write revised at the bottom of the year.
Right.
So you'd have a revision.
Right.
622, 626, 628, and so on.
right, this one should do the same thing, that right?
Yep,
We're good.
it would keep it the same, but we're going to renew it so that the state
Right.
has a new
Okay.
agreement. They don't care that it's the same agreement. They
No.
just want to see a new date.
They want to see a new date.
Gotcha.
And they assume that when the board looks at it, they've reviewed it. But that was good language, Al.
Well, I put in their package that, and I put it on the website, that the wording was staying the same, but it would be
Yes.
modifications, and the modifications would be in the new packages at the back.
So Mike, I'm confused. On page 3, number 12 says the terms will be, the agreement is for 1 year, and we will automatically renew it every 1 year. Is that how we're going to do it?
Right, that's how we've been doing it.
Mhm.
Okay. So how did, no,
It's automatic.
the 5, I don't know where the 5 came from.
5 came from the
The date.
state.
I know, but were they saying we hadn't renewed it in 5 years?
No, they
No.
just, when they do their inspection, they look at all kinds of different things, and this year it happens to be agreements. I can't answer the state why they do that.
Okay.
We're not going to argue with the state.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
No,
We just want to have a great inspection.
That's right. I expect nothing less.
That's right.
All right, thanks,
so do you need
Mike.
a motion here?
Yeah,
Make the motion to approve the mutual agreement as presented with Township Ambulance Authority, TAA, and Torchlight Township Ambulance with an effective date of September 18th, 2024.
September 24th,
What did I say?
18th.
That's what this says.
Well,
It'll be
24th.
here, when you do it today, that's today's date, and then when we do it at TEA, it's September 24th, and that'll be when the agreements are combined into one.
Right, so we're agreeing that as of the 18th, you're correct.
Right,
I changed it 24th, but that's when it will go into
Right.
effect with your signature.
Exactly. You're right, Kathy. You're fine.
Okay,
Are you-
Today's not the 18th, though,
Oh, the
No,
17th.
tomorrow.
17th.
tomorrow.
So this is tomorrow's date. Yeah, okay, gotcha, yeah.
Is that motion done?
Nope, we need a second.
I'll second if she's done saying the.
Mr.
So
Rich?
we will change the date from September 24th to the 18th.
I said the 18th.
Where do you see the 24th?
And my doc, never
On this
mind.
agreement right here.
So,
She said the 18th. That's how we're voting.
yep. It's been moved and seconded. No further discussion. Kathy, a roll call vote.
Sharon,
Yes,
Kathy, yes. Alan,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Roberto.
Yes.
That motion passes 5-0.
Thank you.
That's where the 0 comes from.
Board, moving on. We have nothing in board discussion. Nothing in information only. Citizen comments.
Wait, we talk about
Um, I'm going to bring it up
Oh.
when we get to board.
for a comment, okay.
No further citizen comment. Board comment, we'll start with Jason.
Well, first off, I saw Kevin's eyes light up when Kathy said that about a drone taking a life jacket out to the lake. So I can see these guys are gonna want a drone now.
Well, why not?
I've been talking with Bob, I mentioned to Sharon and Bob, since I've been taking care of the cemetery, mowing the grass, I've noticed a lot of things in the cemetery that don't usually go on at other cemeteries. And, so I just thought I need to bring it to our attention. Some of the things, like Elk Rapids, you're not allowed to have glass in there. There's probably 5 or 6 sites in there where there's glass faces and they're all broken. Another big thing is our cemetery, our stones are on an angle, and in the cemeteries do that, so it's easier to mow. Elk Rapids, same way, they're all in a line. And it's kind of a free-for-all at our cemetery as far as we have people that are landscaping their whole gravesite, bringing in rocks. And so when you go to mow it, you don't have that straight line anymore. I think it needs some serious attention, which I'm willing to do. I just want to bring it to everybody's attention. And this book that was in our mailbox, I don't know if you guys read this or not, the cemetery part and some of the new stuff that's happening in there. So yeah, I just wanted to bring it to your attention that I think some of the stuff needs to stop. What's going on in there? We need some kind of a new ordinance or something.
So our resident expert on the board is Sharon.
And yeah, Sharon,
it's my project.
So the two of you, if you can get Sharon forward on, because I know she started it.
I started.
yeah,
it.
yeah.
If you two will work together and bring something to the board, that would be great. Be happy to have that.
Okay,
Okay?
yeah.
All right, Alan, any board
Just
comments?
a quick question. Cemetery ordinance then is police power. So if it's police power, whatever you decide will take effect on everything that's there. It's nothing's grandfathered in.
I don't know, is it police
I don't
power?
know. That's a
No.
Todd question. We'll get an answer from Todd. No sense us trying to figure it out.
I don't know how you could do that.
Kathy, any board comment?
No, thank you.
Okay, Sharon?
Nope, it was a world best time for tax collection this week.
Yeah, a lot of money, all for the county.
County and schools.
Not a dime to the township. All right, any other comment?
No, I have none.
I have none. Thank you, board,
I have none.
for passing the reduction. I know Sarah will be happy. I'll make the motion to adjourn. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
All in favor, say aye.
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 8 o'clock on the dot.
All right, thank you, board.